It doesn't matter, because what really matters is the topic of debate, and it's one of those. It's one of those things, Scott, where I feel like, bear versus gorilla is probably one of the more vicious debates out there, and common as well, and also pretty 50-50. But this, and I think I've mentioned this before too in a previous podcast or an episode. But waffles versus pancakes. That's another hot debate right there.
It really is. It's you'd think that it sounds so silly, but when you actually start into the debate, like people get a little like irritated at each other when they don't agree.
Yeah,
it's like they take it personal when you don't agree with their favorite breakfast food dessert.
Well, it's a matter of opinion in some ways, and like people they'll knuckle up for that, like because you're insulting their breakfast.
It's like it's my favorite start to the day. Your day sucks then.
Dude, I mean, like, could you imagine sitting down with a nice warm waffle and a cup of coffee, and then some guy walks up and says pancakes are better and just smacks your plate and walks away?
Yeah, I did that to you, didn't I?
Yeah, my day was ruined. Thanks a lot.
Did that to you. I walked all the way to Virginia just to slap your waffle out of your hand.
I was devastated.
I stopped. I got nowhere.
Do you know how rare waffles are in Virginia?
So I'm the only waffle iron.
So before we get into it, Scott, how have you been, man? What's new in your life?
It's been good. Thank you for asking, sir. I'm trying to think here. The most recent this week, work-wise, this week has been just garbage. It's been hot, stinky garbage. So I'm just glad that it's the weekend.
Good.
But honestly, the most interesting thing we've done is today I went out and we got a new armoire for the house. So that was nice.
I know it's French, but what's an armoire?
It's how do you describe it for the layman? No, it's a wardrobe. There it is. It's a wardrobe essentially.
Okay.
So Lion the Witch in the wardrobe style.
Okay, word. The family's doing all right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're doing real well. Violet is in the middle of a new sleeping change that is just like killing us this week.
Oh.
So we read that after 1 year, at some point, and it varies for any baby, like they're gonna adjust to where it's like they're gonna refuse to take a second nap. It's like where it's like, hey, it's time for only one nap a day. Well, we thought we'd probably get, Violet's only 13 months now. We thought we'd be up to like 16, 17 months, and then that would be an issue. No, it started this week. This week, Lauren has been putting Violet down for a second nap, and she's been screaming bloody murder.
Gracious.
Just, very peacefully protesting.
Her God-given rights.
Yes. And so now we've had to make the adjustment where it's only one nap a day. So we have to keep her up even longer in the mornings, hope that she naps good, and then is good all afternoon. But the problem is my child loves to wake up at 5:30 in the morning and not go back to sleep. We're supposed to keep her awake till like noon. It's like, I don't even know what to do.
Oh my gosh. I'm not strong enough, man. I don't know how you do it.
It's been a tough week, especially for Lauren, because I've had to work all week, and I've been pushing like 10, 12 hours days all day, every day this week.
Sounds like you need a plate of waffles to really take the edge off.
You mean cut my mouth? I don't want those sharp rectangles.
All right, I get it. All right.
How about
you're a hippie. All right.
How's your week been?
Well, I'm doing fine. It's so what's funny, Scott, is actually I've realized that as time goes on, I'm embracing more of the early 30, mid 30 lifestyle, where I had a glass of wine, I'm wearing a sweater vest, I'm walking around my slippers, I like my little morning shot of espresso, and I'll shot. I'll grab the newspaper out of my mailbox and I'll sit down and read it sometimes. And I'm like, yeah,
wow.
I'm kind of digging this. Not like in a poser vibe, because I'm not doing it for posing reasons. I'm just doing it because it's fun and I enjoy it. And I'm like, I kind of enjoy the the chilled out, like, I think the reason why 30-year-olds and so on, especially like 30s and 40s and 50s, because that's when, like, that's usually the time frame when adults are raising their kids. Yeah. It's like, yeah, we tone it back. Because, I mean, you can attest or testify to this. I can't. But, like, we're just tired. So having a big plate of food, having a good glass of wine, and then taking a nap, it's like, I don't think kids growing up realize this. It's not a preference. It's necessary.
No, it is. It really is. So, testament to that. So I went out and bought, like, last weekend, sweet little Violet just had a really bad day. I think she was teething really hard or something. And so we were just, poor Lauren and I, we were just kind of like, we didn't know what to do. We were just kind of like over our heads I couldn't even talk about it, essentially. So that night I looked at Lauren, I was like, Papa needs a beer. Like, I need a freaking beer. She's like, yeah, I understand. Just go ahead. So I went out and bought a 6-pack for myself. And I was like, I needed it desperately.
Did you finish them all?
No. I bought a special 6-pack that I've been wanting to try, so I've been taking it very slowly. I never drink many beers. If I do, it's usually either extremely special occasion or that's usually the only time. I really only drink like beer every now and then. It's kind of rare. Maybe one a week, if that. I don't keep it in the house very often, but Yingling has a Hershey's Porter.
Interesting. How is it?
Yeah. So I had one. It was really good. Like, I was on the fence. I was like, I don't know. But then I talked to this guy who owns the restaurant that I actually service with cleaning chemicals. And I saw it that he served it in the window. I was like, oh, you served that? He's like, yeah. It's like, what do you think? He's like, it's amazing. And I was like, really? He's like, yes. Especially go get yourself a scoop of vanilla ice cream and make yourself a float. I was like, oh, yeah. So, damn. Yes, it is you're like the raising your kids lifestyle of like, I want to have a slow morning and I need alcohol at night kind of thing. Yep. Like, it's real. Like, it's just, you're just tired.
I think
you're just very, very sleepy.
In hindsight, I feel really bad for not going easier on my parents growing up. Like, that's another thing. I think growing older, you kind of realize in hindsight, like, so that's what they were going through. They didn't have all the answers. They were just trying their best, and they were tired. And and having, like if someone handed you Scott, let's say you're at a family get together, and they hand you a plate of nice hot turkey and mashed potatoes and collard greens, and then they give you a beer. I mean, a single tear would probably fall down your cheek, and you're like, thank you.
Talk about being grateful.
Right.
Golly. So grateful. I get grateful every time I have like one of the grandmas or grandpas come over, and Violet just kind of like, who the hell's that? She's not like, she's not just requiring my attention 100% of the time. And so I'm like, I guess you just start to be grateful for very small things.
I was just about to say that. So again, I can only say this as an observer because I don't have kids, but I as someone who doesn't have kids, though, I can still say like there is a beauty of getting older, enjoying new things, but I also feel like it's like you start to appreciate things more. Because, like, as a teenager and as a 20-something-year-old, you're a bit wilder and crazier, and you're still exploring, your brain's still growing, you're still bumping shoulders with new people and experiences. But now it's like, man, I like having a small, intimate group of friends, good food, good fellowship. That to me means so much. Like, there's a quote from Mark Twain where he said, like, the great works of literature are like wine. Mine are like water. Everybody needs water. And I'm like, oh, I like that. Where just the idea, I'm probably butchered it, but just the idea of like, I don't know, I feel like it's completely relatable on a global scale throughout human history. The feeling of having a good meal. Like, oh. And I mean waffles, Scott. Delicious, fantastic, perfected, engineered by scientists from NASA. Waffles. All right, shall we throw down?
Yes, I think we should. So, waffles versus pancakes, everyone. This, like we said, this can be a nail biter.
Yep.
You might lose friendships if you disagree with each other over this one.
Might lose
Even
more.
more so.
Yeah.
You may lose more. And if you don't like either, well, at least you'll lose weight.
Don't be one of those French toast like heartbreakers.
Don't you dare rub a bunch of sugary dandruff on my breakfast.
Your stale toast is got sugar powder. Big deal, dude. I spoke to some friends a few years ago about French toast, and I never really liked it. I thought it was kind of soggy and sad. And they were like, and the guy who told me he is French, like straight up, like from France. And he's like, oh, it's like it's stale bread with sugar. He's like, it's not good. It's like it's never been good. And I'm like, okay, because folks get hyped over it, and there's no problem with liking it. But like at the same time, it's if it's already starting off kind of old bread, then something's wrong.
Yeah. I feel bad for a restaurant who says their specialty is French toast.
I'm like, oh, it's all downhill.
Yeah. It's like, we make great French toast, and that's probably all.
Oh, the bar's low. Well, for this matchup, I have waffles. Scott has pancakes.
Yep.
And I think the best way to start this off is just to have a quick opener of what we think of what we're defending, and then we can take it from there. How's that sound?
Yeah, I like it.
You want me to open it up?
Please do, sir.
I have always loved waffles, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I do know of pancakes. I've had pancakes, of course. But there's something about waffles that seem strong and sturdy and just kind of reassure you that everything's going to be all right. Because unlike pancakes, waffles can actually hold syrup and like nice blueberries and butter and are structurally sound. I mean, you're seeing something where it's like when you take a bite into a waffle, you're taking into a bite of human ingenuity. And I don't know, pancakes to me, I won't rail on them just yet. I'll pull back. But honest to God, if I walked down one time to, like, this is back when Laura and I were first dating. And I walked downstairs one time, and she started breakfast, and she had a big old plate of waffles ready for me. And I can just smell that batter, like, walking down the staircase. I'm like, oh, my, it's waffles. And just a big old plate of waffles for me. And she's like, hey, honey, have some breakfast. And I'm like, yeah. That's how I'm starting my day with my girlfriend. I'm eating waffles, and yeah, the waffle winked at me. I winked back at it, and I ate it.
the two butter pat eyes.
Yeah, exactly. It was delicious.
Okay. So, pancakes are better than waffles, and I'm not gonna attack because you did the same. I won't attack the waffles yet. But the thing about pancakes is that they are in my mind, they're the true breakfast staple. You see an image, or even try to conjure up an image in your mind of what a full breakfast is, and like you see ads on TV of the full 4 squared breakfast or whatever, a complete breakfast. And there's always that stack of pancakes to the right of the eggs with syrup just ever so like glistening down the side, a butter pat melting perfectly. It is the American breakfast, the pancake. So you think of the fluffy goodness. It's soft. It's a breakfast hug. And that is why a pancake is better than a waffle.
Well, I'll tell you this, though. Those commercials are misleading. They're lobbyist lies. It goes all the way to the top.
Oh, no, not the lobbyists.
No, actually, a lot of those commercials, those pancakes aren't even real. It's like fake plastic with like motor oil for the syrup. No, Scott, I'm not even joking.
I know you're not joking, but I'm sure they do the same for a waffle.
No, they don't. How dare they?
They would never blaspheme.
No, not waffles.
No.
Actually, it's interesting because I'm looking at the history of pancakes versus waffles, and how far back it goes. And I'm a little bit surprised because, okay, no, there's my answer. Okay, so to no one's surprise, pancakes have existed far longer than waffles.
Yeah, because it's the best.
No, it's because it's simple. And then humans started to evolve, and in our brilliance and our pursuit of knowledge, we discovered the might and engineered perfection of the waffle. The same way that we went from a spear to a gun, and how things get better with human ingenuity.
Both waffle and a gun.
Waffle and a gun, yeah.
Gonna make you bleed.
No, with a pancake, you're getting a spear. With a waffle, they gotta give you a gun and a fork and a pat on the back.
And then they throw you into the woods.
Yeah, that's just Waffle House, bro. So I genuinely do want to talk about the history of waffles, because I looked it up. So they've been kicking around since the Dark Ages, the medieval times. They, admittedly, like I said before, they've not existed as long as pancakes because they require a bit more finesse, because you need irons to make a waffle. You need 2 iron grates, typically, to make it happen. And apparently, some of these... it says that the ancient Greeks would cook flat cakes between hot metal plates, and those are, in a way, the first waffles. But during medieval times, they do these things where it's a communion wafer, kind of a waffle, like a pseudo waffle. So, like, waffles went through their own evolution as throughout the centuries, from the medieval times into like the 14th and onward into the 18th century. There's this little blurb here. It says, King Charles IX, King of France, created the first legislation regulating waffle sales. Scott, waffles hit so hard that there needed to be restrictions because it's going too hard.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, think about chew on that waffle fact.
Yeah, I'll have to chew for an hour to try and swallow that waffle.
You're eating a bad waffle then.
They're all bad.
No, I don't. As soon as I said that, I knew I was done for.
There's no such thing as a good waffle. That is interesting. I did not know that about the waffle. I was looking up pancake history, and I was like, wow, 600 BC? Holy crap.
Yeah, it goes way back. Because I was thinking about that, where I'm sure that it wasn't the traditional waffle that we have nowadays, but more of like, didn't like the Jewish people have like those flat pieces of like pseudo pancake bread, but it was like made of potato or something like that? I think I'm butchering it up, but I do know that like the idea of a disc like food goes way back.
Oh yeah, I mean non breads.
Yeah.
Like it's like unleavened. It's
that's
like,
it.
Non bread is essentially unleavened bread.
That's
so it's
it.
Like it's the unleavened bread. So yeah, that's like unleavened bread was like that's what they would eat for not the Pentecost, Passover.
Yep.
Jesus dished out unleavened bread at the Passover meal when he said, take this is my body that's going to be broken for you. So I'm like, it's a big deal. The flat, round stuff.
I do want to take a quick moment. This is a quick tangent. I do want to say Earl of Sandwich is a charlatan. He did not invent the sandwich. Absolutely not. Are you telling me that ancient humans never took meat between 2 pieces of bread? Come on. Like, come on. That's just something that people do. Now, maybe him trademarking it is possible. But when I hear about this fool who's like, I made the sandwich, and it's like, or I invented the sandwich, it's like, no, you did not. Maybe you popularized it.
Yeah, sure. You're the only one that like you gave it some flair.
There you go.
Because you had the availability of like tomato and lettuce.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of folks ate, right, and mayonnaise. Like, I'm sure that like maybe he was one of the guys to push it forward, but you were not the first person to take a piece of meat and put 2 slices of bread between it. Come on, like, seriously, me.
Yeah, Earl of Sandwich can go die.
Yeah, mission accomplished. Do it again.
We did it.
We did it.
High five.
Pancakes and waffles, shaking hand in hand,
just defeating the sandwich.
So I do want to bring it back to waffles and what they're about. So a waffle to me is wonderful, and with its crispiness, because you can take a fork and run it across like the surface of a waffle, and there's a little kind of scrape to it. So compared to a pancake, which is a lot softer, it should be at least. A waffle's got a bit more toughness to it. Not unpleasant toughness, but enough for it to hold. Hence why there's ridges on the top and bottom. Ridges used for holding butter and syrup. I already said this before, but all these wonderful toppings. And you can just take your fork and cut a piece off, and the rest of the toppings don't flop over. That's one of my biggest gripes about pancakes. The toppings just ooze off on the side and fall over. Like, if you got blueberries or any kind of berry on a pancake, it's maybe one fork and it's over. It falls out, and you have to start all over again. A pancake holds. A pancake has good structural integrity.
Thank you for agreeing with the pancake holds, because you just messed yourself up.
Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry, the waffle.
You said the pancake holds, and I'm like, yes, it does.
No, retraction. The pancake does not hold. As a matter of fact, it like all the syrup, all the butter, all the berries is just on the side. It falls over into a big old puddle of mush, and it soaks up on the bottom pancake, and that falls over and breaks. It's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Except it's the Leaning Tower of Pancakes, and it's a failure, and the day's ruined.
Yeah. Oh, man. Jeez.
Waffles hold, man. Now, I will admit that a stack of pancakes will be better than a stack of waffles, because that doesn't really make sense because of the structure of the waffle. But you don't need to have a stack of waffles. You have a waffle. And you focus on it, because if you have more than one, then you're like Icarus flying towards the sun. You're gonna burn up and die.
That hot butter is gonna get you when it pours.
Yeah, you'll be the fall of Icarus, my friend.
Oh god!
All right, balls in your court.
All right, so the thing about the waffle, to me, that I actually, you talked about it as a plus. I look at it as a bit of a negative. All those grooves that you like, you can, the dimples, if you want.
Dimples, I like that.
The waffle dimples. I don't like it because I'm like, you put butter on that, and like the butter should be able to spread easily. You want to spread it around the whole top. But I'm like, you spread butter on a waffle and it gets stuck in one dimple, like the whole thing. And then you got to dig it out, and you're like cutting the waffle open, and it doesn't look good anymore. Like those waffle dimples, like they're good, like aesthetic, but I don't think they're very functional when you want to actually put the toppings in there. Spreadable toppings. I can't deny that if you got a blueberry or something on there, it just nestles right in there nicely. That's a good victory. But what if you want like the butter to go elsewhere? What if you use anything else other than that you would spread? It's just like, okay, I'm just gonna, never mind, it's all in one hole.
No, you're doing it wrong.
No, there's only one way to spread butter. You use a knife.
You put a packet of butter in each little cube and the waffle.
So if you have a waffle that's like, let's just say 15 dimples long, 15 tall, whatever that math is, that's a big waffle. You're going to have a butter pat for every one of those dimples. Just a big old, that's basically just a big ball of butter, and you don't want that inside you.
Speak for yourself, my friend.
So that's one negative to a waffle in my mind. The positive,
but then you spread it on a pancake though, and it just kind of tears.
Well, see, you're not doing it right then. You need to use a butter knife, sir, not a cleaver.
What?
You need to stop eviscerating your pancakes and eat them like a gentleman.
Use a katana. That's what I do.
Oh, goodness. No, so that's one reason I don't care for waffle. And why a pancake is better. Here you go. I've been trying to structure this argument, or at least different layers of arguments over this. And 2 points I definitely want to make. One being name, and why the name alone should lead you to desire one over the other. And 2, not necessarily points of origin, but like, let's just call it, I don't know, just places of enjoyment, stores, if you will. I'm going to be referring to, excuse me, the places you might go to get either one of these particular breakfast dishes. So to start, the name. Waffle versus pancake.
Okay.
Come on, I mean,
What are you talking about?
So can I share with you what the word waffle can also mean?
Okay, you call me.
What it also means, good sir? It also means a failure to make up one's mind. You waffle. Or speak or write, especially at great length, without saying anything important or useful. Now, why would you want to eat something that also has such negative connotations? You're just ingesting negativity. You're eating something that's named poorly. So, come on, get yourself some cake, mind. You know, put yourself in a peaceful, like, cakey morning where fluffiness surrounds you and it's just all just glittery melted butter and lovely fluffy, and I keep saying fluffy, but I can't help it. It's a wonderful word. Just stacks of goodness. Or you can waffle. You can't make up your mind. You could just waffle because you can't decide. So you waffle.
I'm gonna tell you this. At least our name is better than something thrown onto the word cake. What is it? It's some kind of cake from a pan. A pancake. Oh.
Yeah, but yours has the word awful involved. So.
Okay, that's not true. It's not true. Oh no!
So hang on. I'm not done. I got to keep going on this. So pancake. You say it's silly because they just threw a pan in front of a cake and they named it. No, what they did is they gave you in the name. They gave you how to make it. What do I need to make a pancake? What if it's too hard? No. It's not. Do you have a pan? You can do it. Because we love you. And it's breakfast time.
Okay. Did IHOP put you up to that?
They didn't need to.
Well, you know what? I'll bring that up. Look at IHOP. As when folks say pancakes, in restaurants, they think of IHOP. I'll have you know that IHOP has said some just unsavoring things on Twitter, and there was one point where they were so embarrassed by their pancake that they switched their name to IHOB, the International House of Burgers.
That was just an advertising ploy.
Yeah, it goes to show you how much faith they have in pancakes. They're ready to bounce. Waffle House has always been Waffle House. Dude, Waffle House is used to measure the breakout of disease by the CDC. Waffle House saves lives.
Oh my gosh.
And when you walk into a Waffle House, my friend, it doesn't matter if you're a king or a peasant, we're all equals in there. Time stops at 3 a.m. at Waffle House when you can make one last great decision before the day is over. And
the day just started for those people. You don't even know where you are in a Waffle House.
Twilight time. It is the place between heaven and hell when you're at a Waffle House, because there are those going to bed, there are those getting up, there are those who have been staying up for the last 5 days because they've been fighting terrorists in the Middle East, and Waffle House is where strong Americans eat. And then across the street there's IHOP, where I'm pretty sure they got pulled over by cops because they were putting cocaine in their pancakes, and that
was somebody driving the store and got pulled over by the cops.
I think IHOP, last I heard, blew up an orphanage. It was awful. Actually, funny story. When IHOP changed their Twitter handle from IHOP to IHOB, somebody swooped in, stole the IHOP handle, and blackmailed them to get the handle back. Like, you can have it back for money.
Oh my. I mean, I'd say that person's quite smart.
It's pretty suave.
It is. It really is. I'm like, I've heard that. I heard recently, but I think this was years ago. That happened to, I want to say, the Dallas Cowboys, or like some professional athletic team. Something like they didn't renew their website name or their domain name.
Oh,
and so somebody was sitting on it and bought it.
That's
funny.
Then
and then forced the team. I really want to say it's the Cowboys, and they forced the team to give them like thousands of dollars to buy it back.
That's funny. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's actually a term for that. I don't. It has something to do with the word "sit." I'm pretty sure. I don't remember what it is, but I learned about it. And I was like, "That's evil genius," is what that is.
It's. I know that was a popular trend a while ago, where people would just buy up domain names in the hopes that a company who finally wants that domain, is willing to fork over money to buy it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. They're basically like the hand sanitizer people, but before 2020, like people who got up and bought all the hand sanitizer and then tried to jack up the prices.
Yeah, right. Yeah, those jerks.
Monsters. Okay. So, where were we? Waffles and pancakes.
Let's talk about the variety of each. So, I know that waffles come in all shapes and forms, because, like, you ever had a Stroop waffle before?
Sounds fascist and Nazi.
Oh, it's from Denmark.
Yeah, the same place.
Close enough. I'm sorry. It's I think it's not Denmark. It's from the Netherlands and Belgium, and it's really good. It's like these little pre-packed little like waffle cookies, and you can break them apart, and they got nice little syrupy like. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think what the inside of it is. But they go great with a cup of coffee. Delicious. And then there's
the Goose Steppen waffle.
The Stroop waffle. How dare you? There's waffles on a stick. There's hot dog waffles. There's
hot dog waffles.
Yeah, dude. There's all kinds of waffles. There's the Belgian waffle, for crying out loud. There's wonderful waffles. There's rolled waffles, my friend. The waffles are great. They come in every shape and size. You can put brown sugar, powdered sugar, syrup. It will hold chicken and waffles, Scott.
All I'm hearing is that it's just a bunch of people trying to make the waffle better. Just like, we'll roll it up for you and wrap it around some meat. Like, okay, that might taste better.
What, dude? Chicken and waffles, my friend. Lest we forget. And you come from the South, so you should know about this.
I know about chicken and waffles. I've had chicken and waffles.
They're pretty good.
If I have to admit, gun to my head, yes, it was good. But it was chicken.
Tell me these chicken and waffles are good. Sweating. I can't. I can't.
No, I can't do it. Oh, see, but the pancake. First of all, you can I've definitely had some breakfast sausage wrapped by a pancake covered in syrup, and thank you, ma'am, it was amazing. But the pancake doesn't need to be improved upon because it's so good. You don't need to add all that extra stuff. Like, oh yeah, just douse that waffle like it's a dirty French toast hooker with the powdered sugar, like, and then you'll like it. I'm like, no, pancakes, they're perfect.
Well, waffles can also be used for like buns for sandwiches. It's so multifaceted with what it can do.
Buns for sandwiches. What would you put in a
chicken?
Oh gosh, that poor chicken.
I do think when it comes to like, okay, I'm trying to bring it back in now. So we discussed. You brought up pancakes being a good side dish, because I know that at IHOP, if you got like a big entree meal, like an omelet or whatever, I think pancakes are a pretty common side dish there to go along with it. Which really is, let's be honest, I think we can both agree, is a testimony or a testament to American gluttony.
Yeah.
What you want for your side dish? Pancakes?
You have a giant breakfast steak omelet smothered in cheese. What would you like for your side? Gotta get cake.
Gotta get cake for my breakfast side dish. Waffle, you see, aren't just flippantly thrown around as side dishes. They got a bit more dignity than that. They actually care for
It's pretentious.
They care for the American people.
They're uppity.
No, they can hold their head high, saying, "No, we're not a side dish. We're a main course." And pancakes can be a side dish for the 800-pound American who's like, pancakes a side dish. Waffles have the strength of knowing that they're better than an add-on for a meal. A waffle will take your entire focus because it deserves it. because you need it for that level of respect, for that level of quality.
You know what waffles also do?
What?
They take the rest of your day. Waffles will steal your day away by you eat one and you just can't get up. They're too filling.
You hear that, folks? Waffles will fill you up and you will be satisfied.
And you won't be able to do anything the rest of the day. Do you have a busy day today? Don't have a waffle.
What the heck are you talking about?
Because you won't be able to do anything. You're going to be stuck in that chair. Like, you're going to fall asleep after you eat a waffle.
Lies and slander.
A pancake as a side dish. You've already gotten some good protein in your life.
What?
Maybe a nice
That's
egg
not the,
and sausage on the, like egg and sausage. You know, you're going to Cracker Barrel, a place of just beauty and
racism,
southern hospitality. Nice, 2 little sunny side up eggs, some delicious Cracker Barrel sausages, maybe even a little hash browns, just a nice plate, and then you get like your 1 to 2 pancake side. You get your protein to give you some energy, and then you treat yourself. You say pancakes as a side is a bad thing. I say it's a treat that people have earned for working hard, because you can get up after that breakfast, say, yes, I'm ready to go. I've had some good stuff. I've had some nice stuff. I'm ready to go do a really crappy day.
The irony but the audacity of you saying that a waffle will bring you down when you're encouraging pancakes for a side dish along with an omelet. Do you want your audience to die? I don't.
I want the audience to be productive members of society. You just want them to waffle around on the floor, not know what to do, and barely be able to get out of the chair because they had a stupid waffle rolled up around some meat, covered in powdered sugar and syrup, and you just die after that.
You know, you want to know what other word begins with pan?
What?
Pansexual. And I'll have you know that these people are sexual deviants who only eat pancakes. So when you're before the eyes of God, he looks at you saying, have you had a pancake? No. You'll know that you should have been eating waffles this entire time. All right. It's time for us to should we decide or should we or we could do something where we say something nice about the other side and then we can find common ground. How about that?
Hey, let me make one last I know we're running shy on time here, but I really wanted to make one other point. You actually brought it up. You talked about the differences of IHOPs and Waffle Houses.
Correct.
And granted, IHOP's International House of Pancakes, not the best front runner for the pancake brand. I'm not nuts about IHOP as a restaurant, but I do love their pancakes. They make great pancakes because the pancake is every man's cake. It's not too hard to make. You don't have to buy a bunch of extra utensils. You can use what's in your kitchen, and you can make yourself a delicious breakfast treat. But the highlight of pancakes is definitely Cracker Barrel, my friend. You go to Cracker Barrel, you want to take your family, it's an outing, you can go to the country store, it's a great time. What do you do when you go to Waffle House? You go at like no earlier than 11 p.m. You usually go alone, kind of hoping nobody will see you. You walk in, your feet are kind of sticking to the floor, there's a smell in the air. Your server is probably just smoked like 12 cigarettes and is now about to cook your food. And the thing is, I've been that guy. I've gone to that Waffle House. The thing is, though, I'm like, that late at night, I don't even get the waffle. And it's not just preference. Most of the time you go in there, there's nobody even eating the waffles at Waffle House. When you typically go, they're eating the patty melt. So I'm like, you don't even eat waffles at Waffle House, apparently. You go and get their steak melts. So what does that mean for waffles?
You know what, Scott, I know when I've been bested. That was a valiant, very vivid picture you put together, and I agree. The time stands still, and there's a certain beauty in the hot mess that is Waffle House. as a man who enjoys the finer things in life, I gotta say, Cracker Barrel's got a better everything. but that's not a pancake thing or a waffle thing. That's a restaurant thing. So I gotta say that.
But what did they choose to serve as their delicious side dish?
Do you want to know what the cracker stands for in Cracker Barrel?
No.
You don't want to know. So now is our time to find common ground, Scott.
Yes, common ground.
So I genuinely do prefer waffles over pancakes. As much as I jab you and everything, I genuinely do prefer them. I do like the structure of them all. I do think that they hold better. And I will pick them over pancakes personally. And we can leave it to folks in the comments or folks who listen to the podcast to weigh in and share with us what they think is better, and preference wise and honest opinion wise. Pancakes don't hold as well. A stack of pancakes, though, I won't turn away. I mean, they're delicious, and even though the syrup might ooze over, which again I feel like waffles hold it better, I'll still eat them. And I do think that pancakes have a light and fluffiness. That's something that I feel like you didn't really drill enough into with your conversation, with your part of the argument, is the texture of a pancake is fluffy and delicious.
Oh, I'm glad you're being sarcastic.
I'm not.
I apologized for the amount of times I said the word fluffy.
Oh, you did? Oh.
I said fluffy so much.
Waffles were holding my ears, preventing me from hearing your argument. Scott, you didn't say you should have brought up Cracker Barrel. Scott, how could you?
I literally said, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I'm saying fluffy so much."
Forgive me. I messed up. I apologize. I know the textures of waffles are a little bit tougher because it's between iron plates. The iron of which humanity's bravery and strongest are forged from, but like pancakes are like plopped on a pan, and it's like, I'm cooking. Like a waffle comes out of iron sheaths of strength and plop on your plate, flexing, and you're like, I'm going to conquer Persia today when I eat this.
I feel like the waffle you just described would conquer you.
It better. All right, so, but yeah, I think a nice stack of fluffy pancakes, I wouldn't turn that away. And I gotta say, Cracker Barrel makes a mean pancake, so, okay.
They do. Fair. I appreciate that. And I have to agree, like, when it comes to, like, getting, like, either one of these items in front of me, I'm like, if you put a waffle in front of my face and say, hey, you want to eat this? I'm like, yeah, I'll eat that, sure. Like, I don't have any problem with that.
No way.
Get that crap out of here.
Smack it out of your face.
No, I'm like I said, I've been to Waffle House. I think, side story. Do you remember the night back in high school when like we all first smoked our first cigar? Like I think we were all finally turned 18 and we went and got some cigars. Didn't we go to Waffle House later that night? I can't remember.
That was a very long day. I remember that being one of those days where I look back on, I'm like, that went for a long time. I do vividly recall being on Carswell's back porch smoking the cigar.
Yeah. We all got like we all got turned like green.
It's like Pinocchio when he smoked the cigar.
Yeah,
it's just funny when we're just a bunch of wee babes. We're like, cigar time, and it's like, cause, I mean, I still smoke cigars occasionally, and those still like you gotta be ready for that. I spoke to a guy at a smoke shop, and he said that you have to have a full belly. He's like you need to be hydrated and have a full belly and not drag on it too much, and that's how you prevent yourself from being lightheaded and like nauseous. I'm like, okay, word.
And also, don't get those cigars that are jet black.
Yeah, no.
Don't get those.
I prefer smoking a pipe, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I feel there is an elegance and a sophistication that comes to smoking a pipe, and it's not just the extra like finesses and maneuvers that it takes to properly pack and light a pipe, but it's something more substantial to hold on to. And like when you hold a pipe, you hold a cigar, it's like you kind of hold it like you have to pinch it.
Yep.
And you're like, I don't know, you got to pinch a cigarette, you got to pinch a doobie. It's like, no, I want to hold something that makes me feel like I'm not smoking something else. Like,
a cigar to me feels like when you do smoke it, and it's a tangent, but like cigar feels like you just crushed your stock portfolio or you're on the golf course, and I do feel like a cigar in a moment of celebration can work. But like on the norm though, I'm like, I'm gonna have a nice hot cup of coffee after eating a good breakfast. I'm gonna sit on my back patio and I'm gonna light my pipe and sip my coffee and read and listen to the news and there's certain, I don't know, it feels smoother and more relaxed. And like you said, like it feels classier. Like, not like in a pompous way, but more of like, I don't know, it just feels better to me. And it both when you smoke it and also just as a tool.
Yeah. Well, in any case,
tangent, sorry.
It's okay. No, please, we don't have to apologize for those. That's part of the podcast.
True.
So anyway, I was like, I feel like after all that, we ended up going to Waffle House. Maybe it's just because that's what we would do a lot when we were in high school, late at night. It's like, yeah, we're staying out late. Woo!
Yeah.
What are we gonna do where we we Nothing. Open, and it's 10.
What's either Waffle House or Steak and Shake?
Yeah, Waffle House or Steak and Shake.
Golly, man, what? Just because we could. That's why we did it as kids. We had autonomy and we were exploring it, and so we took it upon ourselves to do things. Versus now, where it's like, I'm going home.
It's 9 o'clock. I'm going to bed.
I'm going to bed. Which again goes full circle because people are tired. You know, Scott here is a great example. This is like the American spirit. Works hard. He's got a wife, got a kid. He's tired. He's tired and he wants a good meal of I almost said pancakes. No.
Yeah.
Shoot.
That's it, everybody.
I'll be real. Actually, I have the Google images open right now for Cracker Barrel pancakes, but also their other food. I haven't been to a Cracker Barrel in years. I gotta say, this stuff looks amazing.
Oh man! Oh my gosh! I'm so sorry. I should have taken you to Cracker Barrel last time down. I live down the street from a Cracker Barrel.
Well, there you go, dude. Like, this is like, I feel like when people think of American cooking, like especially international folks, and I don't blame them. Like, they think we're just a bunch of fast food eaters, and I know that Cracker Barrel is still a restaurant chain, but it's a testament to American home cooking. And it's like steak, meatloaf, fried chicken steak or chicken fried steak. What's that? Chicken dumplings. I love that stuff. It's very bready, but still, I mean, then again, like, could you imagine being an Italian with like gluten problems? Good luck.
Oh gosh, just the worst. Truly the worst. Yeah, you don't go to a Cracker Barrel if you're watching your weight.
No.
It's not something you do. You go to Cracker Barrel when you want to enjoy something in your life.
Scott, how far off are we from wearing overalls?
I mean,
I'm thinking about it.
Lauren's already got like 2 pairs, so I'm not too far away.
Yeah, but girls look cute in overalls. When guys wear it, I don't mean like the jean overalls. I mean like the straps that we attach to our pants.
Oh, those are suspenders.
Suspenders. When am I going to start wearing suspenders? I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Big difference.
I don't have suspenders anymore, but I used to wear them. I bought a pair of pants. I loved them. I wish I still had them. I don't know what happened to them. They were like, there was no belt loops. You had to wear the suspenders with them. No belt loops. I wore those proudly, my friend. I loved them. I thought suspenders were so cool. And I was like, first dating Lauren, I think, is when I had those pants.
Word. No wonder why you bagged her. You're wearing suspenders.
She thought I was awesome.
You know, it's interesting to me, and another tangent, and then we'll bring it back in for final thoughts here. But like, I was listening to a podcast, or I can't recall what I was listening to, but it was the idea of sometimes you need to wait to be a certain age in order to make something look good, which I try to be careful with because I don't want to be a gatekeeper, but seeing like a teenager running around wearing like suits or fedora or like a Tribly or whatever, I'm like, it's kind of weird looking. You look kind of puny and it just doesn't really fit you well. Versus like a 50-year-old guy or a 60-year-old guy who's like got that salty, hair and beard, and maybe he pulls a pipe out and smokes it while at the coffee shop and he's wearing suspenders. I'm like, okay, no, that looks more appropriate to him. And again, I'm not trying to gatekeep, but I do think that there are certain demographics where it seems a bit more appropriate for them to be wearing something or using something.
No, I think you're totally right. And the thing is, though, I wonder, and I would believe that it has everything to do with the fact that those things were originally, most of the things you mentioned were originally popularized when those men were younger.
Yeah.
So it's like they were probably wearing those suits when they were in their early 20s, and now they still wear them while they're in their late 50s and older. So I'm like, yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Because if I saw, like, I mean, obviously, we're smoking a pipe. If you're wearing, like, I don't know, I really can't even think of the words to describe the outfit, but, like, what Tolkien wears in his profile picture smoking a pipe, I'm like, well, that's exactly what I expect. Versus, like, go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing with you. I'm sorry.
Well, compare it to, like, I don't know, like a 6-year-old guy wearing jean shorts and an Old Navy shirt tucked in and smoking a pipe. I'd be like, that doesn't look as cool.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How about something on profiling, though?
Did you just reference your father smoking a pipe?
So I referenced Mark smoking a pipe. I don't think my dad would ever smoke, though. I've never seen him.
Did he never?
I think he smoked a cigar once as a celebratory thing, but it was more of a putting on a face for it, or what's the word? It was more of a formality versus
like when he finally had a son for the right.
In
the hospital when you were born.
Yeah, it's a baby, see? Yeah. But definitely looking through these Cracker Barrel pictures, I have an itch for some home cooking, dude, and it makes me so much more excited for Thanksgiving. But to bring it back in, I love waffles more than pancakes, but I do see the validity of pancakes. Scott, what do you think?
I mean, I still have to side with pancakes if you're telling me to choose.
Yeah.
Gun to my head again.
Gun to your head.
But I mean, we're trying to find common ground here. I think waffles. I think waffles have their place. I've had waffles and they've been great. I've had waffles and they've been okay. You can say the same thing about pancakes.
True. Agreed.
Like it depends on kind of where you're going, where you're getting them from, and we have a waffle iron at our house, so we can make pancakes and we can make waffles.
I have a waffle iron that I was gifted back during Christmas time, and I used it. It was my only waffle iron that I had. It was a Lightning McQueen waffle maker.
Oh my!
Ka-chow.
That's lovely.
Well, any final thoughts? Or
so you can ka-chow down.
Ka-chow down, baby boy. Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts?
No. I think I look forward to hearing what our rabid listeners.
Yep.
I don't know why.
Ravenous. Maybe they're eating some breakfast while listening to this.
Thank you. Ravenous. I confused ravenous with rabid, so I came up with rabid.
Dude, if it makes you feel better, I was ordering food earlier today. I was thanking the person who gave me my food. I was trying to say appreciate and thank you. And like, here your food. I go, Tushy. and I don't know why. I was trying to say appreciate, I guess, and thanks. I'm like, Tushy. He's like, okay, bye.
He probably thought you spoke like Mandarin to him.
Right, Tushy. Scott, that's good. All right, folks. Well, thanks for listening to this episode. We'd love to hear your feedback.
We would. Oh, absolutely. Please throw comments all over the place. We look forward to chatting with you about this. I definitely want to hear more arguments about why waffles are better. Because, I just want to know. I like talking to people, and I want to know what you guys think. So yes, thank you very much for listening. We look forward to chatting with you.
We'll see you all next time. Bye.
See you guys. Bye.